Let's get started, shall we? So thanks to everybody for coming, being here today. We really appreciate the attendees that are here. We really have enjoyed doing this series and we're going to keep doing it. But we just want to thank everybody for being here. So today's topic we're going to be getting into is going to be leveraging holidays for sales. And we're lucky enough to have Angie Stocklin today with us. And we'll get to her in 1 second. Just a couple quick things that I want to make sure we touch on my end before we turn it over to the reason that you're all here today. So first off, my name is Jeff Zentz. I am the director for G Beta in Indiana for Generator. And our mission as a company is to help communities invest in their best and brightest. And so we've partnered with the SBDC to run the Small Business Resiliency and Recovery Training Series. We've been having them for almost 3 months now, and they will continue on through the end of the year at the very minimum, but maybe even through March of next year. And every Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern time, we've got this. It's open to the public, and we'd always like to invite anybody that could benefit to attend and to join us for these things. One small note with me saying that they're held every Friday is that next Friday, it is the day after Thanksgiving, and we will not have a webinar next Friday. So just wanted to make sure I made that call out before we got too far into our day today, is that next Friday we'll have off, and we'll be back here in December to pick up where we left off. So with that, you've heard me talk enough at this point. So I'd like to introduce Angie Stocklin, the co-founder of One Click Ventures. She's here to chat today with us about leveraging holidays for sales, and I will turn it over to Angie.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Jeff. I appreciate it. All right, I'm going to share my screen and we will jump right in. Okay, so we're going to talk today about leveraging holidays for sales, and this can really apply to any holiday, but we're going to focus a little bit on Black Friday and Cyber Monday since that is what is coming up for everyone. So Jeff did a nice job of that little intro. I am the co-founder and former COO of One Click Ventures, and if you've been to Greenwood, you probably have seen our building. It's right next to Sam's Club. We were acquired by Foster Grant in 2018, so I've been able to move on, and now I teach entrepreneurship at Purdue, which has been a really fun experience. I'm also an angel investor and a mentor. So while I've had a lot of experience with Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales, I'm definitely not an expert on all things holiday sales related, but I've got some experience to share with you today, and I'm excited to jump in. Okay, so the first thing I think that we should talk about is just windows of opportunity in general. Now, Black Friday and Cyber Monday definitely qualify for a window of opportunity. This is just any period of time or event where your customer is more likely to buy from you than another period of time. So like we said, it could be holiday, it could be seasonal, it could be a budget cycle if you're selling into businesses. It could be a life transition, like couples that are getting married or having a baby. It could be a change in company leadership, especially again, if you're selling into businesses and you can take the opportunity to leverage that new leadership and build a relationship there. It could also be a crisis. So COVID-19 has definitely been a window of opportunity for some businesses, especially those selling PPE like masks or hand sanitizer. It's an opportunity to get access to the customers that may not actually know you exist otherwise. So within your window of opportunity, it's always a good idea to have a trigger. And this is just something that creates urgency and increases the likelihood that your customer is going to go ahead and make a purchase. So it could be a wide variety of things, and this is not a comprehensive list, but it could be a discount. We see those all the time, right? It could be 15 or 20% off, even up to maybe 50% off your purchase. It could be a free trial if you've got a gym or some kind of membership organization. It could be a limited supply of something. And we see these a lot around the holiday. If somebody has like a special roast of coffee that's just out for the holidays, or Starbucks, always has their holiday beverages, special lattes. And it could be something that they only have a small amount of, which increases the urgency of people to get there quickly and get it. It could be a time-bound kind of trigger, a free gift with purchase. Or a special edition. Again, Starbucks kind of falls into this category too, where we all know the pumpkin spice latte is coming out in November. And then in December, they're going to have some kind of like Christmas related beverage. So if we want to think about this in terms of small businesses, here are just like some examples that I brainstormed for today, but I think these will make sense and you can kind of apply this same logic to your business. So for instance, if you have a floral shop, of course, your window of opportunity, one of them is going to be prom. And then the trigger in this case could be like 20% off corsages. It could be like a buy one, get one free opportunity, or any way to stand out from your competition and help get customers in the door. If you're a coffee shop, we already talked about special edition beverages or drinks. If you're a pet store, you could take advantage of something like International Dog Day and do a free toy with purchase or a free bag of treats. Or if you bring your dog into the store, you get a treat with if you make a purchase. If you're a bike shop and the weather turns warm, you could have a limited edition jersey. I know BGI did this a few years ago with their Indy jerseys, and they completely sold out. So they were a limited run and people really enjoyed that because they want to represent their town. If you're a t-shirt shop during March Madness and you sell collegiate apparel, maybe it's buy two, get one free. So that increases your ticket size and encourages people to come shop with you, whether you're online or have a brick and mortar. And then if you're a local gym, of course, New Year's is always a great window of opportunity because people are making New Year's resolutions. And so maybe if they sign a 12-month contract, you give them a month free. It's any kind of trigger to make them feel like they're getting a lot of value, and it is true value, but make them feel like they're getting value out of your business, and then you're getting value in return with their purchase. All right, so if we want to jump in here to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Black Friday is the traditional retail. It's the day after Thanksgiving. It's when stores typically open maybe at midnight or early in the morning. There's lines for doorbusters. It traditionally is for the brick and mortar stores, where Cyber Monday is that Monday after Thanksgiving, and that is traditionally for online retailers. But what we've seen over the last few years is Black Friday and Cyber Monday have kind of merged together. And brick and mortar retailers are doing sales for both. Online retailers are doing sales for both. It's starting to stretch into Thanksgiving. It's stretching into the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. So what we're really starting to see here is what we like to call Cyber Week. And you'll see Cyber Week sales. I've already been getting them in my email, and you probably have too, seen them advertised on TV or maybe gotten emails about it. But what this means is it just increases our opportunity to take advantage. You're no longer restricted to the morning of Black Friday or maybe Cyber Monday if you're online. You now have more opportunity to try different deals, potentially different triggers on different days, highlight different customers. You can maybe acquire customers in a new way, but you're no longer restricted to just those 2 days. And I also definitely want to highlight what we've come to love as Small Business Saturday, which this year is on November 28th. It's typically on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So if you take anything away from today, I would encourage you to go to the American Express website and register for Small Business Saturday. They have marketing materials that you can use. They've got ideas on how to promote your business, offers, suggestions, a lot of materials that you can use. And really, this is all about getting the local people in your city or town to hit the streets and shop local on Saturday. Now, it may be a little bit different this year, and we'll talk about that towards the end, but there's no reason that you shouldn't participate, especially in Small Business Saturday. So head over to the website. I've got the link there at the bottom, but you can also just Google Small Business Saturday and the American Express site will come right up. So register your business so you'll show up on the map. Talk about your deals, and just be part of the community on Saturday. But that doesn't mean you can't also do Friday and Sunday and Monday and all of the days of Cyber Week, right? This is just an opportunity for small business owners in particular to stand out from the crowd. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Black Friday and Cyber Monday in particular, but also this can really apply to any kind of holiday season where you have a window of opportunity and you want to apply a trigger. So how do you even figure out what trigger you want to use? Well, first of all, you really need to think about, are you trying to acquire new customers here, or are you trying to retain existing customers? There are campaigns where absolutely you can do both, but it's a good idea to start thinking about, it's going to change where you market and how you market your business, but are you really trying to get new customers in that door? Or is this more of a benefit VIP situation for your current customers? Also, are you trying to drive people into your store? Are you trying to drive people to your website? Or are you just trying to simply increase the ticket size for the shoppers that are already there? The third one, for instance, you may not need to promote it a lot on social media or in Google Ads. It could be a situation where you just have a lot of foot traffic already, and you can apply some signage within your organization or within your store to increase the ticket size of the customer. So you have to think about like what your goals are for the holiday that you're planning for and the type of return that you want. You also need to think about how much value you're adding. So a lot of times when we talk about marketing or advertising our businesses, we focus on what the customer is getting from that purchase. And that is really good. Because creating value for the customer doesn't mean that you have to have something really expensive. It's really from their perspective, how much value are you adding to their life? They're shopping with you for a reason, right? They enjoy your product, they enjoy your business, maybe they're a lifelong customer, like they're already your customer for a reason. So what is that? Maybe you can capitalize on the value that they feel from shopping with you into creating some kind of like free gift with purchase for the holidays. But you also don't want to forget the value that you're getting from your customers. So it's really a give-give situation in business. You're giving value to the customer through your product and your service, and your customer is giving value back to you through their purchase, which is essentially like the dollars, right? Like we all need dollars to survive. And so by providing a valuable service or a valuable product to your customer, and especially a valuable sale or opportunity during the holidays, you're going to get a lot of value in return. So don't forget about the value that you're getting from this transaction as well. We also need to think about profitability for a little bit. So you've probably heard the term customer acquisition cost or cost of acquiring a customer. This is essentially just all of your advertising and people cost. So it's the money that you're spending on AdWords potentially, or Facebook ads. It's the money that you're spending to create. So if you're hired an outside agency, or maybe you have somebody in-house that's working on those campaigns, it's all the time and energy and money that goes into your marketing and advertising efforts. And then looking at the number of new customers that you're acquiring. And so a lot of times I think it's hard to think about losing money on that first sale, but what you need to keep in mind is that's okay sometimes if you have a good lifetime value for that customer. So do you know how often your customers are coming in to shop with you? If they have like a 12-month contract, then you already know probably that you're getting the 12 months and then how long they tend to stay with you. Maybe it's 2 years or 3 years. If it's a one-time purchase, how often are they coming in? Are they coming in twice a month, 4 times a year? And how much are they spending in each visit? If you understand that your customer is giving you $300 over the lifetime that they're a customer, then it's probably okay to spend 20 or 30, even 40 or $50 to acquire that new customer, because you know that over the lifetime of that customer, you're going to get a lot more value. But unfortunately, it is a little unnerving, right? If you're spending $50 to acquire a customer and you know they're only going to spend $10 on that first purchase, it feels really uncomfortable. But if you look at the data and understand how much that customer is going to bring, how much value they're going to bring to your organization over their lifetime, then you can get a lot more comfortable spending money on marketing, because you really do have to spend money to get new customers. And part of the figuring out your customer acquisition cost is figuring out where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. So is it really spending a lot of time and energy getting your messaging right on Facebook? Maybe. Maybe your business is better served by Instagram, or maybe it's not social media at all. Maybe you get a lot of value from a billboard in strategic places around town. It's different for every business, and you have to spend a little bit of money to figure out where you're going to get the best bang for your buck in terms of customer acquisition costs. But oftentimes, especially around the holidays when we're giving deep discounts or free gifts, that profitability drops a little bit. So you have to understand how many of those customers will stick around and how long they'll stick around for. And there are a lot of LTV or lifetime value calculations on the internet. I think the best idea is just to figure out which one makes the most sense for your business, and then stick with that over time so you can see how it's changing and growing. And you can really start focusing on retaining customers to increase their lifetime value. All right, we also need to think about our competition. Now, this doesn't mean you have to copy your competition, right? But if you're like a local clothing retailer, you know that there's a ton of people selling clothes locally in your city or town. And so just figuring out like what kind of discounts are they giving over the holiday season. The Cyber Week is typically when customers receive the best discounts out of the entire year. So if you're offering 10% off and all of the rest of your competitors are doing 50% off in the entire purchase, It may not be a trigger that's going to make sense. Maybe you'd be better off doing a free gift with purchase, or a buy one, get one free, or a buy three, get one free, depending on, what you're selling. So just changing up the verbiage a little bit, even if the dollar value that they're saving with you seems to be a little bit different, it may seem like more value, right? So just you got to understand what your competitors are doing. And then you have to make sure that your offer stands out. Okay, so once you create a trigger, then we have to create a plan. So the first thing that you need to think about is, what are your goals for this campaign? How much money do you want to spend, or how much money do you have to spend on this particular campaign for Cyber Week? And how much revenue do you hope to see in return? So we're talking about ROI. So how much are you going to invest in the situation, in this campaign? And then how much revenue are you hoping to return to your store? And then you may have goals, and clearly you're not going to have goals for every one of these, but you may have goals for the number of customers that you want to see that weekend, or the number of sales or orders that you want to see. Maybe it's the number of new customers. Maybe you want to see an increase in the average ticket size that weekend. Maybe it's all for you about the number of items sold, or the number of email addresses gathered. It can really be anything, as long as you know in advance what your goal is, so you can craft a strategy or campaign around that. That's what's going to be most important. So maybe for you, it's not about sales at all. It's just about brand awareness. Craft a goal around brand awareness, figure out how to measure that, and then create a campaign that's going to help you increase your brand awareness locally. And then you have to figure out, based on your campaign, what trigger you're going to use and what your goals are. Where do you want to advertise? There's a lot of options, and some are probably easier than others. Email marketing is huge during Cyber Week. We won't even pretend like email marketing is not a good thing. It's amazing. Your emails have a better chance of getting lost in the shuffle here, but you also get just completely out of the game if you're not sending your customers emails, especially customers that really believe in you and shop with you a lot. It's a great idea to just send them an email and say, hey, we're here, and this is the value that you can get from us this weekend. You also may want to think about search engine marketing for the holidays, social media, which we've talked about quite a bit. Retargeting, which just is a way to, if somebody lands on your website, if you have a website, and they didn't make a purchase, then you can kind of retarget them over time to try to get them to come back with maybe a better offer than what you had before. You could also think about like influencer marketing or content marketing. So if your business is really set up to teach somebody or share knowledge, then a really good content marketing campaign may help drive people to your store or drive people to your website, just because you're sharing valuable information. Again, it's all about value. So value can be in content as well as value from a product. And then, of course, you can think about traditional offline marketing. So if you have a store and you're getting ready to launch a campaign in the next month or so, maybe you start sticking inserts in the bag just to let them know, like, hey, you should come back because on X day, we're going to have a big sale. Or maybe it's in-store signage, potentially a direct mail piece. And so we get a lot of direct mail every single day, and I'm sure you do too. But there are pieces that I hang on to. If it's something that interests me, especially if it's at one of my favorite brands, then I'll hang on to that direct mail piece and make sure that I hit up that sale or whatever that exclusive offer might be. I also think that you could really think about partnerships. So partnering with other local stores is a great way to increase your brand awareness and find new customers, frankly. So my sister-in-law is an accountant in Texas, and she recently has been partnering with local stores to do like a one-for-one advertising situation. So they're helping her find new customers. She's helping them find new customers. And they're doing a lot of like giveaways and things on social media to increase awareness. One is a local cookie shop, another is a local candle maker. And she can help their clients, and of course her clients can, order candles and cookies from them. So if you think about a way to partner with a local organization, for instance, I think I just saw today that Newfields has an exclusive flavor of Just Pop In popcorn for the holidays. You can only get it at Newfields during their Christmas lights event. So if there's a way for you to partner with somebody local, and then they'll talk about you on their social media, you can talk about them, maybe have in-store advertising. It's a great low-cost way because you trust each other and you both benefit. It's mutually beneficial. You also may find some opportunities to go on radio or TV. Indie Style, if that still exists, was a show that we used to use in the past quite a bit, just because they really love to showcase local entrepreneurs and local business owners. And you can go on there for free. If you can get on the show, it's completely free. It doesn't cost you anything. And it's a great way to get your brand out there and just to get some, new eyes on your business. You also might be able to be a guest on a podcast or think about podcast advertising, maybe print. Billboards is something that works great for some organizations. Other organizations probably isn't going to make a lot of sense, but whatever is going to make the most sense for you, I doubt that you're going to be able to do all of it, but pick 2 or 3 that make the most sense and work with the goals for your campaign. And then I also really encourage you to make sure that you align your creative across all channels. So here's just a little example of something that we did several years ago from one of our brandsreaders.com. And you can see at a glance that the same color palette applies. So it's not the exact same picture in every single image, but you can see our hero image at the top. We've got holiday inserts, which will go in our boxes over on the right-hand side. Down at the bottom, we've got our shipping banner, and then we had like content page banners. It all had the same look and feel, which is really important. And so if you send out a direct mail piece or put inserts into a bag, and then you have signage in your store, just follow that same look and feel throughout so that your customer understands that they can feel your brand through that creative, and it follows the process and just helps it be more aligned and make more sense to the customer. All right, and after you get your plan ready, there's some things that you need to really consider. If you're expecting a big influx of people because your offer is just too great to pass up, you may need some extra people. So think about how many people you're going to need for the day. Think about how much inventory you're gonna need. If you have a free gift with purchase, how many of those free gifts do you have? Is it a limited supply? Do you want everyone to have it? You don't want to be left with too much of it, right? Because it was a free gift, so it would kind of be potentially hard to sell it later on. But do you have enough inventory to meet your sales? So if you're expecting a ton of foot traffic that day, make sure you stock up a little bit. And then you should also consider maybe extending your hours for the season. So oftentimes stores will open at midnight, and that may not be the best option for you, but maybe you could open a little earlier or stay open a little later during the holidays to allow for some flexibility there with your people and your customers. I also think that you should really consider COVID. And this may not be something, or there may be other things that you can think of here, but as COVID cases really increase across the United States and especially Indiana, you want your customers to still be able to make purchases and shop with you, and holiday shopping is probably going to look a little different this year. And so having a plan in advance may help you stand out from your competition and may help your customers feel a little bit safer. And so is there a way that you can offer curbside pickup? Potentially they could call in and place their order over the phone, or if you have a website, maybe they order online and then they can stop and pick it up from your location. I know a lot of the local restaurants are doing this, but it doesn't mean a retail shop couldn't do it too. You also may consider offering ship to home, and it's okay to charge the customer for this. If it's going to cost you $10 to ship it to their house, charge them $10. They're going to pay the money if it makes sense for them, right? If it's going to be a value add for the customer, I promise you the customer doesn't mind paying that extra money because it's convenience, and it's going to be a little bit, especially if you have a lot of orders, it will be an inconvenience for you. But I do believe that it could help you stand out from your competition and help your customers feel safe, secure, and they'll remember that moving forward. You could also offer potentially shop by appointment. I've seen some smaller stores doing this locally, where if they've got a really small store and people may not feel comfortable, you can set up an appointment and they'll limit it to maybe like 4 or 5 shoppers at a time. Not only does this help you set up to make sure that you've got customers coming in every day, it kind of creates a situation for your customers where they may feel like it's an exclusive opportunity to come in and have like this private shopping opportunity. And it keeps people spread out so they feel safe. And then potentially maybe you have bundles for easy shopping. So I've noticed some grocery stores, and I think like Flying Cupcake is doing this, but they'll have like pre-selected bundles of things that you can easily grab and go, so that your customers don't have to spend a lot of time shopping within your organization or spending a lot of time in the store. And they still get to shop from you, and they still get value. And then you get to increase your ticket size because you've got these like really cool holiday bundles all ready to go. Okay, so if you'd like to connect with me, I'd love to talk to you further. You can feel free to email me at angiestocklin@gmail.com. You can connect with me on Twitter at Easterday77, or you can find me on LinkedIn at Angie Stocklin. And I'm happy to take questions, Jeff, if you've got anything ready to go.
Yeah. So really one question that comes to mind at this point, Angie, what do we like, what would you recommend for somebody who's never really dipped their toe into like sales as far as around the holiday? Like, is it just like, just try something and figure it out? Or do you think they should be more calculated? What would your advice be to somebody who maybe has never tried a holiday sale or tried a sale at all in their shop?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that, I mean, if you do probably like 20 or 30 minutes of research online, just trying to look and see what other people are doing, I think that you'll probably find something that you think is going to make sense for your customers. But I do kind of recommend that, yeah, you pick the thing that you think is going to work the best while keeping your company profitable, that meets your goals of either acquiring new customers or just creating some kind of like cool VIP experience for your current customers. And then just try it and see. I recommend that you set a goal ahead of time so that when the sale is over, you can look back and say, hey, was that worth it? Did it meet my goals or not? Because afterwards, sometimes you don't remember exactly what you were expecting from it. So keep your expectations realistic, but set a goal ahead of time. And then you can kind of measure the ROI on that sale and try to decide what you want to do next time. Because you're right, it does take some time to figure out what the right mix, what the right discount might be, what the right opportunity might be for your brand.
That's great. One last question, just from your perspective, but do I need to be, as a small business owner, do I need to be conscious or concerned with like customers only wanting to buy like sales or discounts once I kind of start down this path? Or does it like, do you find that people kind of just understand that like sales are special things and they shouldn't expect it all the time?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I do think as retail stores, especially some of the bigger brands, we oftentimes, I mean, I think I don't really want to call people out, but Banana Republic, like, are you ever going to shop there without a sale? Like, it's really easy to get stuck in the always offering discounts to get people in the door. But I think if you use them wisely, like there are certain times of the year, depending on your brand, but the holiday time in particular, from Thanksgiving to Christmas, is a time where people really do expect a deal or expect a bargain. And so if you're not willing to open up and do something, you may miss out on an opportunity to have some sales or customers then. But I do think that you have to be wary of using discounts all the time to get customers in the door. So create value in different ways. Maybe they shop with you because it's convenient, or because you're environmentally friendly, or whatever your customers already value you for. Kind of double down on that, and use that, and then save your discounts or your free items with purchase for special occasions.
Great. And I just thought of one more that is not really sales related, but it's back to that customer acquisition cost, lifetime value. Um, a lot of us don't have those numbers. Um, how do you kind of suggest like figuring out or making your best guesstimate to make sure that you're not discounting something so far that you don't ever make it back from that customer later?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think if you're the type of shop owner that is in your store all the time and you have consistent customers, you can probably, without digging into your numbers, take a pretty good guess at how much money you're getting from those customers, like the really, really, really loyal customers, and then the one-off customers, and kind of take a quick average of that. But there probably are ways that you could dig into your numbers through maybe credit card receipts or terminal information, point of sale information. And on maybe a rainy January day, you can stop and figure that out to know for sure. But as a shop owner that's there all the time, you probably have a gut check and can do some math to try to figure out an average. And the golden rule is really that you want your lifetime value of your customer to be at least 3 times higher than your cost of customer acquisition. And by the way, I don't think we talked about this, but those customers that you're getting for free from word of mouth, that all goes into your customer acquisition cost. So if you're paying $30 to acquire a customer on Facebook, but you're getting a ton of customers for free just from word of mouth, that all averages in. And so you can look at that as a whole instead of just focusing on like those $0 customers still count.
That's great. I don't think we have any other questions at the current moment. So I just want to be the first to say thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. This was really impactful. I think we had some great questions and discussion, but also we just really appreciate you taking the time to share your expertise here as far as leveraging sales for the holidays. Just thanks for taking the time today, Angie. We appreciate it so much.
Thanks for having me, Jeff. I appreciate it.
All right, gang. So this is, again, part of a series that we're doing with the ISBDC. You can learn more about upcoming webinars, other resources that are out there that we've talked about throughout the course of our series here at stayinbiz.org. That's the ISBDC's website to offer the support and resources that we've been talking about throughout this whole course, as well as if anybody wants to connect with Angie directly, she gave her information there, but if just in case you didn't grab it, feel free to email us at the Generator team we can get you connected with her. If you want to dive into more specifics or anything, I'm sure she'd be willing to do that. And as a quick reminder, again, next week, we are off for Thanksgiving. So next Friday, we will not have another webinar, but we'll see everybody back here in December. And thank you all for coming. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you all soon.